So when a student needs to submit one of their assignments, let's say they're in Notability, we're going to go to, let's say, our note from August 27th, 2019. We have all of our work that we want to submit. We hit Share, hit the Share button. PDF format, you want to make sure that they select this. The page range, we want to make sure that it's all. And in fact, keep these same settings. They can always view a preview and hit Share. Now we're going to go over to the More option. We're going to scroll all the way down to Copy to Schoology. And now this is where they will either go to their resources, but now we want them to go to an assignment. So they'll hit Submit Assignment. They'll go to your course. And now from here, they have their assignments in alphabetical order. But if you want them to be able to sort, they can sort by date or alphabetically, or they can also filter by the category type that you have set up on Schoology. So we're going to go ahead and submit this first one to assignment 1. It's going to say upload. And now we are going to have a secondary submission. So we'll go back and we'll go to notes from this section. We're going to hit the Share button again, Other Apps, Share Note, scroll over to the More option, scroll down to Copy to Schoology. There's the name of our submission. We're going to hit Submit Assignment, Sample Course, and this will go to Assignment 2. So that's the experience that your students will have when they submit their assignments. And if we go to that course, let's say we go to week 1, and we select our Sample 1 assignment, currently they can see that they have a submission. They don't have any scores or comments on that assignment so far.
Now that we have gone over creating assignments, let's look at how we can access those submissions from our students, as well as ways that we can grade them. So we're going to first start on our homepage, and now we can see that we have 3 ungraded assignments. If I click on that, I can see exactly how many I have in each of those assignments to grade. If I click on any of those assignments, it will jump straight to the post, as well as on this right-hand side, we see that Mrs. Swenson has submitted an assignment, and I have received one of 2 submissions there. I can also click on this drop-down menu if I want to look at needs grading, on time, late, ungraded, and not submitted. The second place that you can see work being done, so again, I'm going to go just back to our materials page, is anytime there's new work to be done in this reminder alert bell up here where it says notifications, I can see exactly when these assignments were submitted. Again, if I click on that link, it will jump straight to that work submission. The third way I can see work is if I go to the gradebook, and I can see that this little icon in the upper right-hand corner means that a student has submitted the work there. And I can click on this link right here, and it will jump straight to that student's submission. So again, multiple ways of accessing the exact same thing. Let's go into our first assignment and show you how you could potentially grade the student's submission in the browser itself. So if we click on this student's work, I am presented with this grading icon. It, of course, is zoomed in a little farther, so if I wanted to see more, I can always click this minus button to zoom out or the plus button to zoom in. These will fit the work to the given window or make it full screen. And then in the upper right-hand corner, you have these tools to play around with. So the default is you can click up and down to drag the document. This loaded relatively quickly because it is a PDF. PDFs are the preferred way we want our students to submit their work because they load faster, which means you can grade more and you're not waiting for them to load. Additional tools that you have is you can select text, you can highlight text, you can strike through text. The one that I use most often on the computer side is to add a note. So I just click anywhere that I want to and say, so in this one, I can ask the student to show more work. It shows as a little highlight button. When a student loads this, they can see all of the comments that you add to the document. And then the last bit, which is much better on the iPad, is the draw feature. So if you want to, you can circle things on the computer. You can change the color of this. There's a million different things you can do, and they also will show as stylized options. I stick with the comments just to keep life easier. In the upper corner, upper right-hand corner, you'll see grade. This is where you can type the grade into the score, and then as soon as you hit the submit button, it will save. You can also add a comment that will show up in the gradebook as well as the PowerSchool gradebook for the student to see. So this is where you can say, need to show more work for full credit. And you have this option to show to a student or to not show a student. So once we have that, we hit submit. Additionally, if there's a running commentary where if a student didn't submit the right assignment, this is where I'd post in the submission activity window, and I would post that to them so they can see this commentary. If a student loads more than one document, you may need to toggle between those. So right under their name, which allows you to switch between students, you can also click on this document name dropdown and you can switch between documents. So if a student submitted 4 images, you might have to switch between 1, 2, 3, and 4. They won't load like a PDF does. Also, additionally, if you have more than one student, their names will appear at the top, or their names will appear at the bottom of this screen. So you can easily click each student, or you can click the arrow. An example of this would be if I go to my previous class, I see my student submissions below. I have their work, and then I have this arrow to the right side to easily toggle between students and their work. Let's go back to our sample class. We have right now just graded one of those assignments. So if I go to my gradebook, I can see that I have the 75 typed in there, plus an additional comment that I can see in the gradebook, which is nice. Students can see that comment as well. I'm going to load the second one from the materials page. So I'm going to go up to this reminders box. I'm going to click on assignment 2. And now in assignment 2, I have a rubric attached if I want to grade this student's work using a rubric. Their work loads. I'm going to zoom out so I can see exactly what they wrote. And then once I am done commenting on their work, I'm going to go to the grade and I'm going to select in each of these categories what their score is. The nice thing about a rubric is that it automatically tabulates their score for you. So now 3 plus 2 is 5 out of 8. If I wanted to provide an additional comment as to why they got that score, I simply click on the comment section next to the score and type. Click out of the window and it will disappear. Once you're done, you can hit save, and now that student has a 5 out of 8. Again, switching back to my AP Stats class, I can see that depending on the rubric that you load, I have the ability to display the grading scale to my students, as well as quickly sort through what they got on a given assignment. The last way that you can grade, if you don't want to individually grade on Schoology, in your course, right above the assignment, the first option says Edit Grades. If there are things that you want to do in a mass scale, regardless on if you have classes linked or not, this will show all of your students that are in this linked section. So I have section 1 and section 2. So I see that Brooke and Haley are in the same class. I can add comments in bulk. I can change their grades in bulk. And this is a fast way, if you grade everything in front of you or by hand, to enter your grades. Once you're done, again, we hit the red Save Changes button, and those grades will show up in our gradebook. For those of us that just need that tactile feel of writing on a student's work, Schoology allows you to do this. So we're going to go back to the iPad app, and we're going to actually navigate using the pin. I see that I have one ungraded assignment. That's assignment 3. And I'm going to select that. I'm going to go over to the submissions tab. This is all on my teacher end, so I can see all of my students. On time, Erin Swenson has submitted this, and I'm going to select her name, and I'm going to grade this. So as the PDF loads, we can see the student name and the revision. The revision allows you to see they've submitted multiple versions. So you might have revision 1, 2, 3, and 4 if they've submitted 4 images rather than a PDF. Again, at the top, we have the first option is a markup. We'll go more into depth in a second. The second option is to score this. Now it's more of a drag score. You can also type in a number if you would like. There's your leave your comment to a student as well as display it. You can hit save and it'll save the grade. The 3 dots with a box around it is your submission comments, the running comment to a student, if you would like to mark up what the student is doing. And as a math teacher, this gives me a lot of pleasure to be able to write on a student's work. We click on the pen icon. So once we click on the pen icon, we can type, we can add comments like we did before, or we can select this pencil. And if you select the pencil and the color next to it, it allows you to choose which of these 4 colors. Now you're limited to 4 colors. Let's write in blue. It says factor over the complex numbers. And I will say, excellent. And then down here, how did you get this? Just like I would with a piece of paper. I have 4 different colors that I can choose from. So the document itself preserves all of this work. And the student will see exactly what I write up. All I can do, if I want to hide any of the writing that I had, I can click on the upper right-hand corner. There's this eye view. If I click on that, all of what I wrote disappears. If I click on it again, there it is. If there's anything that I didn't like what I wrote, I can always undo what I did previously, one step at a time. And the last thing, which is super important, we always want to hit this green check mark that saves the annotations that we provided. So Schoology is a very robust tool. We want to make sure that we understand all of the abilities that we can, so when students submit their work to us, we have the ability to both add comments easily on the desktop version, and then the iPad version allows us to grade like we do normally when we're allowed to collect work in paper. Here's a way to grade digitally.